Good morning, children. So, in the previous part, we discussed basic introduction and format regarding journal. Now, in this video, we'll be proceeding further with the topic journal. We are continuing with the next transaction or entry, that is sale of goods. Now, just like I told you for purchases, the word purchases is only and only used for the purchase of goods. That means those items which a business purchases for the purpose of resale. Similarly, the word sale is also used for selling of goods, and again goods here also means the items in which the business deals. For example, if a stationery shopkeeper sells a register to somebody, so that will be known as sale of goods, because stationery items are the goods items for the seller. In the similar manner, for second example, if any let's say if any grocery shop owner or general merchant owner sells flowers or any kind of spices or any kind of cold drink, chips, etc. to the customer, so that will also be known as sale of goods. Now, just few points you need to remember when we discuss about sale of goods is somewhat like purchases. In purchases, we discussed that there can be three cases. One, when the cash word is specifically given, when you are informed that the purchases are exclusively in cash. Another one can be when you are informed that goods are exclusively on credit. And third can be when when there is no information given whether it is cash or credit purchase, then in that case you used to assume it to be a credit transaction. In the similar manner, for sale of goods also, if the question specifically tells you that the goods have been sold in cash, you will consider it as a cash sale. And on the other hand, if the question specifically states that the goods are sold on credit, then in that case you will assume it. Actually, there is no need to assume, you know it, that these transactions took place in credit. That means money have not been received, it will be received later on. And similarly, if there is no information, if the question is silent whether it is in cash or credit, then in that case you will assume it to be a credit sale. So let us begin from here. As you can see, point number A, when the question expressly mentions that the goods are sold in cash. So what will be the effect of this? Now remember one thing, whenever the goods are purchased, whether in cash or credit or both, irrespective, purchase account is debited because it is an expense for the business. On the contrary, whenever the goods are sold, whether it is sold in cash or in credit, irrespective, the term used is sales, and sales account is credited because by selling the goods, the business either receives immediately or will receive later on. That means sales is an income for the business, and we know sales is a nominal account, and nominal account says credit all incomes and gains. So therefore, whenever the goods are sold, irrespective whether they are sold in cash or credit or both, sales account will be credited. Then what will be debited? So here in case A, we are talking about when the goods are sold in cash, when the question expressly mentions that the goods are sold in cash. So what will be the effect of this transaction? The effect of this transaction will be that by selling the goods, the cash is coming in the business, and cash being a real account, we remember the golden rule, debit what comes in. So cash account will be debited and sales account will be credited. So we have got both the aspects, which is to be debited and which is to be credited. So we can frame the entry, cash account debited, whatever the amount is in the debit column, adjacent to cash account, to sales account, adjacent to sales account, and the amount will be posted on the credit side. So beginning from here, sales account will be credited since it is an income as per nominal account. On the other hand, cash account will be debited since cash is coming in the business as per real account. And very important point, children, which we have already discussed many times. Note, in such cases, even if the name of the buyer is given, we will debit cash account and his name will be ignored. So if the goods are sold or purchased in cash, even if the name of the supplier or customer is given to you, you will not take his or her name into consideration, because at that time the two aspects which will be affected will be purchases and cash, or cash and sales. So you have nothing to do with the person's name. Moving ahead, case B. When the question expressly mentions that the goods are sold on credit. Now what will be the effect of this? As we have already discussed, that whenever the goods are sold on credit or cash, irrespective, the sales account will always be credited, because it is an income for the business, and we know that income carries a credit balance. Now what we will debit? Is this sale in cash? No. That means cash is not coming in, so that's why we cannot debit cash. So what is happening? These goods are sold on credit. That means the business is not receiving the money immediately, but it will receive the money later on. Now what will happen? The customer in this case has become a debtor for the business. Debtor means what? We have already discussed the term debtor while discussing the basic terminology chapter. That debtor are the persons or institutions who owe OWE, who owe some money to the business. And that means debtors is an asset for the business, and asset, as we know, we have discussed the rule that asset carries a debit balance. So we'll debit customer's account or debtor's account to sales account. And again the same rule will follow here, that if your debtor or customer is an institution, then you can use the word account. But if your customer or basically your customer is a human being, then you will not be suffixed, account word will not be suffixed to the name of the customer if the customer is a human being. Now, as you can read here, sales account will be credited since it is an income as per nominal account. Again, remember children, sales account will always be credited whether the sales is in cash or credit, irrespective. On the other hand, customer's account will be debited since he will become the debtor for the business from whom the business has to receive the due amount. This is so because debtors are an asset and carry a debit balance. Now, one very important thing which you need to remember, and that is given in note. In such cases, even if the name of the buyer is not given, we will debit customer's account without the word account, as the word account is not suffixed to the name of a human being. So just like we have discussed in case of purchases, even if the name of customer is not given. For example, if the question says sold goods rupees 5,000, that's it, on credit, let's say. You are not informed that who is the customer or somebody. So rather than writing the name, because we do not know the name, we'll debit customer's account. Moving ahead, case C. When nothing is mentioned in the question regarding cash or credit, just like purchases, if nothing is mentioned in the question whether the sales are made in cash or credit, then in that case we will assume it to be a credit sale. So again, what will be the entry in this case? The same entry which we have discussed for credit sales, that is customer's account debited. If it is a human being, we will not suffix the word account to sales account. So as you can read, sales account will be credited since it is an income as per nominal account. On the other hand, customer's account will be debited since he will become the debtor for the business from whom the business has to receive the due amount. This is so because debtors are an asset and carry a debit balance. Note, in such cases, even if the name of the buyer is not given, we will debit customer's account without the word account, as the word account is not suffixed to the name of a human being. Everything is same, just like we discussed in case B. But only thing you need to remember, this is the point which will be followed when the question is silent regarding whether the cash sale has been made or credit sale has been made. Moving ahead, let us discuss an example on such cases so as to make it more clear to you. Example number 1, children, sold goods for rupees 20,000 in cash. Now here you are not being given the name of the customer, but you do not. So as we were discussing that the name of the customer is not given in example number 1, but we actually do not need the name of the customer because the goods here are sold in cash, and the question specifically mentions that goods are sold in cash. So what will be the two accounts which will be affected? What is happening actually, as I told you, that whether the goods are sold in cash or credit, the sales account will always be credited, being an income. So here we know that which account is to be credited? Sales account. On the other hand, what is happening? By selling the goods, cash is coming in the business, and cash being a real account, we know the rule, debit what comes in. So we will frame the entry as you can see in the format of journal. Again, remember one thing, children, repeating the same point, be very particular with the format of journal. Write the heading journal, label all the columns, and also do not forget to write the narration, because you write the narration, you do not get any additional marks, but if you do not write, you have a negative marking. So first entry which will be framed is cash account debited 20,000. So as we have framed the entry, now the account which is being debited will put the amount on the debit column in front of that account, and the amount of credit aspect will be put on the credit column in front of the account which is to be credited. Second example, sold goods to Arbia rupees 20,000 in cash. Now as you can see, the name of the customer is very much given to you, but we need not consider the name of Arbia because it is the cash transaction, because the goods are sold to Arbia, no doubt, but these are sold in cash. So as we know that whenever the goods are purchased or sold in cash, we do not take the customer or supplier's name into account. So which will be the two accounts which will be affected? Cash and sales. Why sales? Because whenever the goods are sold in cash, irrespective again whether the goods are sold in cash or credit, the sales account will always be credited. And what is happening? We are getting cash, or the business is getting cash in return. That means cash is coming in. So the entry which will be framed is cash account debited to sales account, the same entry. And since the amount is same here, so cash account debited 20,000 to sales account 20,000. Third example, sold goods to Neha rupees 20,000 on credit. Now again, the goods are sold on credit, so what? Sales account will be credited. But here the goods are sold on credit, that means the business has still not received a payment, but it will receive the amount later on from Neha. That means Neha has become a debtor for the business. So what will be the entry framed? Neha debited, not Neha account, because Neha is a human being. So Neha debited 20,000 to sales account 20,000. Next example, sold goods rupees 20,000 on credit. Again, you are being informed that the goods are sold on credit, but you are not being informed the name of the customer. So irrespective whether the goods are sold on credit or in cash, sales account will be credited. Now what is happening? It is sold on credit, so we cannot debit the cash account. So what we will debit? We will debit customer's account, and since customer's name is not given, so we'll just simply pass the entry customer debited to sales account. And the last example, sold goods for rupees 20,000 to Swati. Now if you see, you are being informed that the goods are sold to Swati, but whether these goods are sold on credit or in cash, that is not informed to you. So what you will do in this case C will apply. That means you will assume it to be a credit sale. So again, credit or cash, irrespective, if it is a sale,
it will carry a credit balance. Sales account will be credited. And what we will debit? Which account we will debit? We will debit Swati, not Swati's account, because Swati is a human being. So we will debit Swati. What will be the entry framed? Swati debited 20,000 to sales account 20,000. These are the entries which we have discussed. The solution, example 2, even if the name is given, it is in cash. So we have passed the entry cash account debited 20,000 in the debit column to sales account 20,000 in the credit column in front of sales account. Third point or third example, entry Neha debited to sales account because the goods were sold on credit to Neha. So Neha debited 20,000. We have not suffixed the word account because Neha is a human being. To sales account 20,000 on the credit side. Fourth example, goods sold on credit. The name of the customer was not given, so we have simply put the word customer's account. It might be a human being, it might be an institution, we do not know. Customer's account debited 20,000 to sales account 20,000. And lastly, goods sold to Swati. You are not informed whether the goods are sold in cash or credit. So we have passed the entry Swati debited 20,000, assuming it to be a credit sale, to sales account 20,000. And as you can see, we have written the narration for each and every entry. What is the narration? It is just a summary. It is just an information about what the entry is passed. So these are the examples related to sale of goods, children. I hope these examples and the logics behind is clear to you. It is somewhat like purchases, and don't forget, whenever the goods are sold in cash or credit, sales account will always be credited. You just have to see what is to be debited. And another thing which you need to remember, sales account will be used only and only for the sale of goods. That means the items in which the business deals. So moving ahead, children, the next point or transaction which we will be discussing is return of goods. Whenever the business purchases goods from the supplier or customer purchases the goods from the business, it might happen that the purchaser or the buyer is not satisfied with the quality or the quantity or the effects or the side effects or anything of the goods. So what can happen? Obviously, the goods can very well be returned back to the business if it is a sale, or to the supplier if it is purchase. For example, if a business purchases goods rupees 50,000 from a supplier, and on purchasing the goods, the business realize that the goods are not up to the mark for, let's say, for an amount of 1,000 rupees. So the business can return the goods back to the supplier. So which kind of return is this? This is purchase return for the business. That means business purchased the goods, and on not being satisfied, the business returned the goods. So this will be known as purchase return. And purchase return is also known as return outward. Why? Because the goods are going out from the business back to the supplier. So purchase return is also known as return outwards. And you need to remember one thing, children, as we have discussed beforehand, that purchases carry a debit balance. Similarly, purchase return or return outwards will carry an opposite, that is a credit balance. So purchase account will be debited always, being an expense, and purchase return or return outwards account will be credited always, being a return of goods back to the supplier from the business. So as you can read here, purchase account carry a debit balance, whereas purchase return carry a credit balance. Sometimes the business may return goods back to the suppliers due to some damage, defect, or any other reason, etc. In such a case, supplier's account will be debited, as on account of such return of goods, the supplier will owe the value of goods returned to the business. Supplier in this case becomes a debtor for the business. Therefore, being an asset, the supplier's account will be debited. It means that what will be the entry framed in case of purchase return? The entry framed in case of purchase return will be, as we have already discussed, purchase account carries a debit balance, purchase return account will carry a credit balance. So that means always in case the goods are returned by the business to the supplier, purchase return or return outwards account will be credited, just the opposite of purchases. And what we will debit? Because whenever the business, or if we return the goods back to the seller, what happens? Don't we take the money back? Obviously we take the money back. So in that case, we assume that the supplier doesn't give the money immediately. He will be giving the money, he will be clearing after inspecting the goods. So in that case, supplier becomes a debtor for the business, because now the business has to receive back the money from the supplier. The supplier becomes a debtor for the business, and as we have already discussed, debtor is an asset and asset carries a debit balance. So what will be the entry framed in case of purchase return or return outwards? Debtor, basically here the supplier will be the debtor. Supplier's account debited if it is an institution. If it is a human being, then supplier debited to purchase return account or return outward account. Moving ahead, sales return or return inwards. Sales return is also known as return inwards. Whenever the business sells goods to the customer, whenever a business sells goods to the customer, it might happen that the customer is now not satisfied with the goods. Maybe the quality is not good, maybe there are some defects, maybe the goods delivered are not matching with the sample, etc. The customer can very well return the goods back to the business. And which kind of good it was? It was the good which was sold by the business. So therefore this will be known as sales return. And because by this return the goods are coming in the business back, so therefore these are known as return inwards also. So just like we had discussed that purchase carries a debit balance, but purchase return carries an opposite, that is credit balance. In the similar manner, sales carries a credit balance, but sales return carries an opposite, that is a debit balance. So what will be the effect of this transaction? Goods are returned from the customer to the business, or by the customer to the business, so there will be sales return which will be debited. So sales return account debited or return inward account debited. Now what will be credited? What will happen? If the customer is returning back the goods to the business due to any reason, any defect, anything, now the business is liable to pay the returned goods amount back to the customer. That means in this case now the customer has become a creditor for the business. That means now customer is the creditor for the business. Now the business owes, OWES, owes some money, or the money equivalent to the goods returned to the customer, and therefore we will credit the customer's account. If customer is an institution, we will credit customer's account. If customer is a human being, we will just simply write to customer's name. We will not suffix the word account. The logic remains the same. So as you can see here, sales account carry a credit balance, whereas sales return carry a debit balance. Sometimes the customer may return goods back to the business due to some damage, defect, or any other reason, etc. In such a case, customer's account will be credited as on account of such return of goods. The business will owe the value of goods returned to the customers. Customer in this case becomes a creditor for the business. Therefore, being a liability, the customer's account is credited. So what will be the entry framed here? Sales return or return inward account debited to customer's account. Now many a times children get confused between sales return and purchase return. Remembering these two words is very simple. But sometimes the student gets confused in the words like return inward and return outward. They get confused. They exchange it, the meaning. So the trick to remember, to differentiate is return inward means goods are being returned in the business. So what will come in the business? Which has gone out, that means sales return. Other one is return outward. That means goods are being returned out from the business. So what will go out? Which has come in? That means purchase return. So these are the concepts regarding sales return and purchase return. Let us discuss an example to make it more clear to you. Example number 1. Goods returned to Shreya. Now as you can see, I have underlined the word to. So goods returned to Shreya. What does it mean? Rupees 2000. It means that the goods have been returned to Shreya. Who must have returned the goods? Obviously the business. So if the business is returning the goods to Shreya, that means it must have purchased it. That means it is purchase return. Rupees 2000. Now since the business is returning the purchase or some goods to Shreya amounting to rupees 2000, now the business has to receive this returned goods amount back from Shreya. That means Shreya has become a debtor for the business and therefore Shreya will be debited. We will not put the word account because Shreya is a human being. And if it is purchase return, we know purchase carries a debit balance but purchase return carries a credit balance. So what will be the entry frame? Shreya debited 2000 to purchase return account 2000. Shreya debited 2000 in the debit column in front of Shreya, and to purchase return account credited 2000 in the credit column in front of purchase return account. What can be the narration for goods returned to Shreya? Second example, goods returned by Swati, rupees 3000. Now I have underlined the word by. So as you can see, if the goods are returned by Swati, to whom Swati must have returned the good? Swati must have returned the goods to the business. So if somebody is returning goods to the business, that means he or she must have purchased it. That means business must have sold it to them. So that means this will be considered as a sales return. And we know sales carry a credit balance but sales return carry a debit balance. So sales return account debited 3000 with the amount of goods returned. And when Swati has returned this amount of goods to the business, that means now the business owes 3000 to be paid to Swati. That means Swati has become a creditor for the business. Creditor being a liability will be credited. So what will be the entry framed? Sales return account debited 3000 in the debit column in front of sales return account to Swati. Now since Swati is a human being, we will not suffix the word account. So to Swati 3000. And what can be the narration for goods returned by Swati? So I hope the concept which we have discussed here and the entries examples are clear to you children. Now moving ahead children with the next transaction, that is drawings. Now if you remember the basic terminology chapter, we have already discussed this term drawings. What is drawings? Drawings is the amount or asset or anything, whether in cash or in kind, withdrawn by the proprietor or the owner for his personal use. And we have also discussed that since drawings is the amount or anything withdrawn by the proprietor for his personal use, therefore drawings reduces capital. It reduces the liability of the business and therefore drawings is debited always. So as you can read here, it is the amount of cash, goods or assets withdrawn by the proprietor for his personal use. That means anything which the proprietor withdraws for his personal use, whether he withdraws in cash, whether he takes away any goods, whether he takes away any asset for his personal use, that will be considered as drawings. It reduces capital and therefore it will be debited. it reduces the capital liability of the business towards the proprietor and therefore carries a debit balance. And as we have discussed, drawings may be of the following kinds. Number 1, drawings in cash. That means when the proprietor withdraws cash for his personal use from the business, drawings account will be debited. And what will be the another effect? If he is withdrawing cash for his personal use, whatever he is withdrawing for personal use, always drawings account will be debited. And if he is withdrawing cash, what is happening? Cash is going out from the business. And as we have discussed, cash being a real account, if it is going out of the business, it will be credited. So as you can see, as it reduces the capital, drawings account will be debited and cash account will be credited. As being a real account, it is going out. So that means what will be the entry framed? Drawings account debited to cash account. Next case, drawings in goods. That means those items in which the business deals. So if the businessman or the proprietor withdraws some amount of goods for his personal use, again if he is withdrawing anything for his personal use, drawings account will be debited. For example, if a stationery shopkeeper withdraws 5 registers for his son for his school, that will be considered as drawings in goods. So drawings will be debited, and what we will be credited? Whenever these goods must have been purchased, purchase account must have been debited. Now since the goods are not being sold but these are being withdrawn for the personal use, so therefore what we will do here? We will credit purchase account because now the goods are no more there. So when we purchase these goods, purchase account was debited. Now since we are withdrawing these goods, or the businessman or proprietor is withdrawing these goods, purchase account will be credited. So when the proprietor withdraws goods for his personal use from the business, drawings account will be debited as it reduces the capital, and purchase account will be credited as it was debited while initially purchasing these goods. Moving ahead, the C part, drawings in asset. Whenever the proprietor withdraws any asset of the business from the business for his personal use. For example, if any shopkeeper takes the chair on which he sits or any old furniture or any old asset of the business for his personal use, he takes back home, that will be considered as drawings in asset. So one thing important, children, you need to remember, whether the proprietor withdraws goods or cash or assets for his personal use, if he is withdrawing anything for his personal use, drawings account will always be debited. If he is withdrawing in cash, then cash will be credited. If he is withdrawing goods, then purchases will be credited. And if he is withdrawing asset, then asset account will be credited, because asset being a real account, we remember the rule, debit what comes in and credit what goes out. So if he is withdrawing the asset for his personal use, asset is going out, and being a real account, it will be credited. So as you can read here, when the proprietor withdraws an asset for his personal use from the business, drawings account will be debited as it reduces the capital, and asset account will be credited as its balance will reduce, and also being a real account, it is going out from the business. So let us discuss few examples to make it more clear to you, children. Example number 1. Proprietor withdrew rupees 5,000 in cash for his personal use. Now the word personal use, immediately one thing which should pop up into your mind is drawings account will be debited. And what the proprietor is withdrawing for his personal use? Cash account. So what will be the entry framed? Drawings account debited 5,000 in the debit column in front of drawings account, to cash account 5,000 to in front of cash account in the credit column. Example number 2. Proprietor withdrew goods worth rupees 2,000 for his personal use. So if he is withdrawing anything for personal use, immediately what you should do, you should debit the drawings account, and what you will credit? You will credit purchases because the goods are withdrawn here. So what will be the entry framed? Drawings account debited 2,000 in front of drawings account in the debit column, to purchase account 2,000 in the credit column in front of purchase account. And the third example, proprietor withdrew a furniture worth rupees 8,000 for his personal use. Again, if he is withdrawing anything for his personal use, drawings account will be debited. That means drawings account debited 8,000 in the debit column in front of drawings account. And what is he withdrawing? He is withdrawing a furniture, an asset. So we will credit furniture account. So what will be the entry framed? Drawings account debited 8,000 in the debit column to furniture account 8,000 in the credit column. So this is the solution, children. The first example, for the cash withdrawn, drawings account debited 5,000 to cash account 5,000 for cash withdrawn by the proprietor for personal use. Second example, goods withdrawn by the proprietor, that is drawings account debited to purchase account for goods withdrawn by the proprietor for personal use. And the third one, drawings account debited to furniture account 8,000 respectively for furniture withdrawn by the proprietor for personal use. And again, the same thing I would like to remind you, be very particular with the format, with the labeling of the columns, with the word journal at the top of the format and the narration. So I hope all the concepts and entries which we have discussed here is clear to you, children. Just go through the part 1 video and part 2 as well clearly, and once again, so that you can just see the logic behind, because this is one of the most important and basic chapter of accounting.